Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Memory Hunt, the czar of the playbook, bring you our 2014 NFL team preview for the Baltimore Ravens. We're going to take a look at their offense, their defense, as well as their special teams. So let's start on the offensive side of the football with the quarterback position.
Joe Flacco is trying to bounce back from his worst season as a pro. Last year was the anomaly, and under new offensive coordinator Gary Kubiak, with adding new weapons at wide receiver and along the offensive line, Flacco will once again play good, efficient football for Baltimore. Look for Kubiak to put him more on the move with half rollouts and waggles to switch up the launch spot. The backup job will be more of an interesting battle between veteran Tyrod Taylor and sixth-round pick Keith Wenning out of Ball State, both of whom bring a different set of skills to the table. Taylor is more mobile, while Wenning, who does have decent athleticism, is more of a spread guy. In my opinion, this is the position that needs to play up to par in order for the Ravens to get where they want to be in 2014. Ray Rice, like Flacco, is coming off his worst season as a pro, having dealt with nagging injuries and inconsistent play up front. Rice averaged a paltry 3.1 yards a carry. Now he's 100% healthy and, according to Rice, in much better shape as well. Switching to a zone blocking scheme should help him get back to what we've seen from him over the course of his career. Third-year back Bernard Pierce also dealt with injuries last season. He'll have to fight off rookie fourth-round pick Lorenzo Taliaferro out of Coastal Carolina for carries. Both backs are similar in size and running style, but what Taliaferro has the advantages in the passing game, both as a receiver and as a blocker. Justin Forsett and Sierra Wood will vie for situational roles on offense and special teams duties. Fullback Kyle Juszczyk out of Harvard is a very good receiver, so look for Kubiak to get the former All-American tight end more involved in the offense this season. In my opinion, the Ravens have finally put together a solid core of wide receivers. In free agency, they brought in Steve Smith from the Carolina Panthers, who's entering his 14th season, but honestly still has some good football left in the tank. And he'll make life a lot easier for Torrey Smith to operate on the other side, sliding him to a more natural number 2 role. And Torrey Smith is coming off his best season as a pro, catching 65 passes for over 1,100 yards at 17.4 yards a catch. And he's another one of these players that has gotten better each and every year for Baltimore. Malcolm Brown began to emerge as a rookie last season to solidify the number 3 spot. The 6'5", 216-pound receiver out of Georgia caught 49 passes for 524 yards and 7 touchdowns. There's also good depth with guys like Jacoby Jones and rookie 6th-round pick Michael Campanaro out of Wake Forest. And I keep an eye on undrafted rookie free agent Jeremy Butler out of Tennessee Martin, who reminds me a lot of Greg Jennings for the Minnesota Vikings in what he does in his route running and after the catch. There's also a wealth of talent at tight end with Dennis Pitta, who's fully healthy, and former Texans tight end Owen Daniels. Both guys are recovering from injuries, but are two excellent receiving options, and we know how much Kubiak involves a tight end in the passing game. The Ravens were also able to grab another good one in the draft in Crockett Gilmore out of Colorado State, who's more of a throwback tight end that excels on both ends of offense as a blocker and as a receiver. So this, in my honest opinion, is the best group of receivers and tight ends the Ravens have had in a long time. The Ravens definitely had to improve along the offensive line. Last year was unacceptable. Good news on the inside is that they get back Kelechi Osemele from injury, who can excel at either tackle spot in addition to guard, and quite honestly is the Ravens' most versatile offensive lineman. Former Buccaneers center Jeremy Zuttah comes over in the trade to solidify the most important position up front, while Pro Bowl guard Marshall Yanda rounds out a very strong Ravens interior. They've also built some solid depth behind them with guys like free agent signee Will Rackley from the Jacksonville Jaguars and 5th-round pick John Urschel from Penn State, along with younger vets like Gino Grakowski and Ja Reed. On the edges, the midseason trade for Eugene Monroe was an excellent one as he helped stabilize the blind side. At right tackle, second-year player Ricky Wagner will get first crack at the job, and the hope is that he's shown improvement over the 2 starts he had as a rookie. If he struggles, the Ravens may get creative and move Osemele to the right tackle spot or go with guys like David Mims or Ryan Jensen. I'd also look out for James Hurst, an undrafted rookie free agent from North Carolina, who was my number 2 overall tackle prospect in the draft, who was injured in the bowl game for the Tar Heels, and if he's 100%, he could potentially start as a rookie on the right side. The Ravens are strong up front defensively. Perennial Pro Bowler Haloti Ngata, no matter where he is on the interior, he's been impactful on both ends of defense. Last year, both Ngata and defensive end Chris Canty were solid against the run, and look for Canty to have an even bigger impact in his second season with Baltimore. the competition for the other defensive end spot, in my opinion, they aren't short on talented options to replace Arthur Jones. Second-year player Brandon Williams was an excellent prospect a year ago out of Missouri Southern, missed all of last season with an injury and figures to be the front runner for that job. He'll have to consistently play his best to hold off second-round pick Timmy Jernigan out of Florida State, who's a classic one-gap penetrator that's good versus the run, who can also play the nose if need be. Solid reserve D'Angelo Tyson factors in the mix as well, and the Ravens also get last year's sixth-round pick Capron Lewis-Moore from Notre Dame back from injury. Rookie Brent Urban is an ideal 5-tech at 6'7", 295 pounds. That's very strong at the point of attack, and I'd keep an eye on undrafted rookie free agent Damian Meter out of Division II Ashland, whose quickness off the ball makes him a threat versus the passing game. The depth at the nose tackle spot is a question mark because of Terrence Cody's inability to make an impact. The hope is that the light finally comes on this year and he finds that level of consistency in this game. I'd also look out for undrafted rookie free agent A.J. Patai-Ali'i from Utah State to turn some heads this preseason. The first year post Ray Lewis was a solid one for the linebacking core, as inside linebacker Darrell Smith in his 11th season became the leader of this group, leading the team in tackles with 123 while also chipping in 5 sacks. In the first round, the Ravens took the best linebacker prospect in the draft in Alabama, C.J. Mosley, who played in a similar scheme at Alabama for Nick Saban. He has a complete understanding of the linebacker position, and in my opinion, he'll be a Defensive Rookie of the Year candidate. Second-year player Arthur Brown is expected to see more playing time this year. He has the speed, the acceleration, the instincts that you look for and that you can't coach. And Josh Bynes is another steady performer on the inside that provides depth. The outside backers are just as potent, with perennial Pro Bowler Terrell Suggs, who led the team in sacks last year with 10, and Elvis Dumerville, who came over via free agency in his first season with Baltimore, finished second on the team in sacks with 9.5. You should expect both numbers to go up this year for both guys. And when you look at Courtney Upshaw and Pernell McPhee, they are very good run defenders, and the Ravens quite honestly have a great mix of age, talent, and youth here at their linebacker position. The Ravens, I believe, got better in the offseason at the safety position by signing Darian Stewart from the St. Louis Rams and drafting Terrence Brooks out of Florida State. Both are classic free safeties, and whomever gets to start allows last year first-round pick Matt Elam to slide to a more natural, strong safety spot where he should excel, just like he did at Florida. He wasn't that bad last year as a rookie, considering that he was playing out of position, but with the move, you'll see the best from him this season. The Ravens have two excellent corners in Ladarius Webb and Jimmy Smith. Both have tremendous ball skills and matchup skills, which helped the Ravens have a very solid pass defense last year. The quest is to find a dependable slot guy, and they'll look to either Shockey Brown or Asa Jackson, who's a very talented player, who are two young prospects with upside, or do they decide on one of the veterans that he just signed, like Aaron Ross or Dominic Franks? Both were signed late in this offseason. From kicking to returns to coverage, the Ravens have an outstanding special teams unit. Kicker Justin Tucker made the Pro Bowl last year after hitting on 38 of 41 field goal attempts for a league best 92%, including a 61-yarder and 3 game winners. Punter Sam Koch has been one of the most consistent Ravens over the course of his 8-year Raven career, averaged 46 yards a punt last year, downing 27 of them inside the 20. And Jacoby Jones is once again an outstanding player as a returner, combining for over 1,100 yards on kickoff and punt returns, bringing back a kickoff for a touchdown versus the Vikings. And having guys like safety Anthony Levine, linebacker Albert McClellan, and signing of Jeremy Miles via free agency just continues to strengthen the coverage units. The reason for optimism: there's a new offensive coordinator in Gary Kubiak who will jumpstart that passing game by involving a multitude of targets. The offensive line is much better and the defense looks strong at every level, so there's a lot of reason to be optimistic if you're a Ravens fan. Now, the cause for concern with the lack of success last year combined with the off-the-field issues, how much will that affect the running game and Ray Rice? The worst thing that could happen for the Ravens would be if they had a repeat of last year's abysmal ground attack. The road to the Super Bowl for the Ravens goes as follows. Number 1, Ray Rice returns to running like the Ray Rice we've seen over the course of his career. He is the guy that can get it done, and if they have that consistent ground game, game in, game out, they're going to be very tough to defend. And the new offense has to hit the ground running. They can't stumble through the season because this is a very tough division, the AFC North. If they get off to a slow start, it could derail anything they want to do long term. And Flacco has to protect the football. I think all of their issues are on the offensive side of the football. If he can cut down on the interceptions and not take as many sacks, the Ravens definitely have a shot to make some noise in the AFC. I have the Ravens finishing first in the AFC North. This is a very solid football team in every facet. They're extremely strong on defense and special teams, which will always give you a shot to win games. Yes, there are slight question marks about the offense with the new pieces in place, but I think they'll fix itself out by week 3 of the season. And in my opinion, the Ravens have a team that could definitely make some noise in the AFC this year. And don't forget to order your copy of Football Game Plan's latest book, Stiff Arming Football Myths, an excellent book that you can find on our website at footballgameplan.com/books, available in both PDF as well as paperback form. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Raven Fan Forums for always showing Football Game Plan support.